10. Adele's 30th. Hopefully her heart will live on for another 30 years. Mrs. Adele turned 30 and we got more than just what I think is her best album yet. You know, I've grown with her. We got her at her 30th birthday and she went with the themed party. The theme party's fun. People always come dressed up in a theme, usually Greek style, you know, togas or Harry Potter themed, or one of the worst freak accidents in history. A Titanic themed birthday party with life jackets, built fake sets, fake ice and people's hair, you name it. If you've seen the movie, this is what Adele was going for the first part on the VHS tape though, you know. Second part, Act 2, a little scarier. Apparently she got some backlash for the theme being disrespectful due to lots of people who froze to death. Yeah, I can understand that. Just a violin band there the whole time. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. You know, like, I don't know. Happy birthday.
Number 9. Kylie Jenner stage party. You ever go to a birthday party and you're just not involved in any of the activities? It's an eye-opening experience, for sure. You look around and you're like, I have no idea who any of these people are. I don't respect or enjoy any of your company. I'm getting out of here. But you go through it for that sweet loot bag at the end of the day, right? That's all you want. At Kylie Jenner's 18th birthday, nobody was getting loot bags. In fact, nobody was getting into the party. You just have to watch from afar because you're poor. That's why. Kylie arrived via helicopter, like, you know, she's the mayor. She flew to Quebec to party it up because the drinking age is 18, so I'll admit it's worth the long trek. You know, Kylie and her 3-minute flights. Probably got there in a jiffy. She celebrated at Beach Club, which is a massive outdoor club. There were of course hundreds of fans behind the iron fence on stage. Yeah, they were just away, like West Side Story on the other side of the fence. They had to watch Kylie Jenner celebrate with her friends on stage, through a fence. What a great night at a beach club. Hey, FOMO Fridays, come watch the person you wish you were, party with the friends you wish you had. Cover is only $80. Debit. Show me your wristbands.
Number 8. JFK. Rewind the clocks a bit here to one of the most infamous and notable birthday moments of all time. Our late, great John F. Kennedy celebrated his 45th in style. 1,600 guests showed up of all celebrity status. The event itself, though not actually on his real special day, acted as a fundraiser for the Democratic Party as well. 2 birds, 1 stone kind of thing. Performances, choreography, it was a spectacle. This was the famous Marilyn Monroe performance. Yeah, you know that one. Happy birthday, Mr. President. It's like so breathy. You know what I mean? So sultry. This was that famous dress that Marilyn had made with all the million rhinestones, one that Kim Kardashian just wore. First off, who wore it better? You tell me. Apparently when Monroe opened on stage for the party, the entire audience gasped at the dress alone. Probably because it was so bright, you know what I mean? All the lighting. Oh, and it was at Madison Square Garden. Yeah, presidential. Nice and subtle.
Number 7. The Olsen Olympics. Alright, Kyle and I have pretty close birthdays, so this next one here, I'm not gonna lie, I got a few ideas. When the Olsen twins turned 29, on the same day, which first of all, what are the odds, right? They spent their Saturday throwing outdoor events. It was an Olympic-themed outdoor party. How epic is that? From Full House to gladiator games in the backyard. I love it. I'm here for this. I love the growth in the family. Guests were divided into 2 teams. Team Mary-Kate and Team Ashley. There was a dunk tank, a maze, cones everywhere, everyone's running around. It looked like good, clean fun. See, I want to have an Olympic-themed party now, but make it real, you know? Hamburger, hot dog. Also, we're doing sprint relays in 10 minutes. Make sure you stretch.
Number 6. Bianca Jagger's 30th. Okay, so we're getting more and more lavish here. I can't wait until my underwhelming I'm broke themed birthday party. Yeah, thanks for this great list, guys. I guess we wrote it. Mick Jagger's first wife, famous actress Bianca Jagger, had a birthday party to remember. Riding in on a white horse like a Valkyrie riding into battle. Her 30th was at Studio 54. Polyester suits, dancing all night, roller skates. It was the 70s. I've heard about this timeless, windowless club of all clubs. Wildest parties. Lots of illegal substances, you know? Sex rooms, VIP celebrity rooms, parties. We're talking Bowie was there, Andy Warhol was there, the Rolling Stones were there. I mean, for obvious reasons. I mean, the poor horse was just walking in circles all night. Wasn't it just like printing its hooves to Donna Summer? Horse is like, I gotta work tomorrow. It's 5 a.m. I gotta go home.
Number 5. Drake. Here we go, a Canadian lad. We love him. He lives down the street from us. That's crazy. This guy spends more time yelling at the Raptors than he does making music, I swear. Drake's a Canadian icon, real talk. He won his first Grammy for his 2011 studio album, Take Care, and it's a gem. That album got me through school. He's unreal. For his 32nd birthday, Drake threw a 2000 themed party. He bought a Blockbuster video wall, which is a great backdrop for pics to remember the night, and also to remember your childhood. To cool guests off, the rapper even bought a 7-Eleven Slurpee machine. That's a nice sound to hear all night coming from thousands of people, just that. That's all you want to hear. This sounds great. Imagine bopping out in basketball shorts and etnies alongside Drake. What a time. I have FOMO, I'm not gonna lie. Imagine he showed up to the party in a wheelchair like his Degrassi character from the 2000s and just committed the entire night. He just stayed in a wheelchair like Jared Leto on the set of Morbius. He's like, push me peasants, I'm a vampire.
Number 4, Bieber's 21st. You know what I did for my 21st birthday? I went mini putting. I'm not complaining. I love lasers shooting in my eyes all night, but like, all this. I feel so vanilla all of a sudden. Justin Bieber had a similar idea to my 21st when the superstar decided to buy out Omni nightclub in Caesars Palace, Vegas, and just pop bottles and bottle service it up all night. Classic. This guy. Fully legal everywhere now, huh? Vegas, baby. A 21st birthday is a special one because you can now partake in adult beverages. But Bieber is a Canuck. He's been slamming Molson since he was 19. He's a pro. I like his thinking though. This is one of Bieber's more subtle birthdays. After the nightclub died down, of course, he casually rented an island in the Caribbean isle near Grenada. Guy just starts his own fire festival on his own birthday. Calvin Harris, Usher, come on, that's a concert birthday hybrid. Also, how does one pay for an island? I get a bar tab and renting out a venue, but a private island? Just like e-transfer someone or something? Yeah, the password's Bahama Mama.
Number 3, Ariana Grande, Midsummer. This one I have mixed feelings for. If you've seen the movie Midsummer, or Midsommar, if you're one of those guys, it's a little, how do I say this, horrifying at parts. Yeah, there's a lot of flowers, beautiful music, a dreamy vibe for sure, but luckily for guests, that's all it was. Yeah, it didn't end in the same way as the movie with the, Swedish festival gone awry. Or Ori, as I said for 8 years. God, that movie is intense. It's great, but it's intense. You gotta watch it. I'm gonna throw a Hereditary themed birthday party. See how that goes. Bring your own chicken wire. Clothing, also optional. Make sure you scream a lot. Bring some halls. A lot of halls.
Number 2, Kate Moss's 40th. I'm hungover just looking at these pictures. Kate Moss's 40th was an odd one. I'm in my 30s. I love a 9 p.m. start and a midnight bedtime. This one looks fun, but my ACLs are hurting just thinking about it. Long story short, her birthday party was 100 hours long. That's like 4.5 days of just like shuffling around. She showed up in her brand new vintage Porsche birthday present, ready for days on end of partying. Couple rules first. The famous model asked, no pictures. One of the most photographed people on this planet decided to kick it old school this time, hire some DJs and just dance and shake. This spectacle, we'll call it, was at Moss's multi-million-dollar London home. 15 bedrooms. Guests like Mark Ronson, Florence and the Machine could just crash if they wanted to. 4 days straight, like you're just trying to sleep beside a bass speaker. Just but like it's your 40s though, right? People gotta get up and go to work. It was Glastonbury themed, so like lots of musical performances and a ton of techno. That'll keep you up for a couple days. Or air horns. Air horns are just a great way to stay up as well. Great way to wake up hungover. Just
And finally, number 1, the party for people I didn't like. To end this party of a list, I had to throw in something recent and, dare I say, a little brave. A user posted their experience online to Reddit. Wendy Tibbetts, years back when they were in college, they threw a party exclusively for people they did not like. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. Think about those people in life you try and avoid. Those people. Co-workers, those family friends who are like, they don't really one of those people, school friends you don't really get along with, you don't help in group projects. Them. All of them in your home, eating cupcakes, squashing the beef. Black and gray balloons, plucked daisies. It looked extra depressing. It was real Tim Burton vibes going on. But surprisingly, everybody showed up. And at first there was tension, but as the drinks poured, everybody talked, got to know each other, and kind of squashed any pre-existing beef. Yeah, 3 hours flat and all that wait was lifted. Wendy ends the post by saying, "The party for people I didn't like helped mend fences and open a dialogue with people who had previously made my life miserable. Since these were either peers that I had to work with or who had shared the same circle of friends with me, I don't think the party would have worked if I hadn't been tactless and told them up front why they were being invited. Had I not included them in the joke the whole time, they may have been suspicious as to why they were all being invited to a party with a host they didn't get along with and simply avoided it altogether. Thanks for sharing, Wendy. Also, great idea. Squash the beef, grab a soda, and just move on. That's it. And also hit that thumbs up. That helps a lot too. We love good karma up in this house. Kick you off the list at number 10. Field of the Cloth of Gold. 1520, King Henry VIII of England and King Francis I of France. They're talking, they're planning, and they figure what better way to nurture this relationship we have here, this working relationship with one another. Let's have a party, let's celebrate, why not? Two nations drinking together. What could go wrong, right? Well, this party lasted for 2.5 weeks. Nobody really knew when or how to end it, but royals on both sides did know how to impress one another. And they did so by drinking more and more. And then they jousted. In that order. Yeah, it was a horrible chain of events. They ate meat from over 4,000 lambs, 1,000 ox, you name it. They were pouring resources into this big party. All of their resources, in fact, and eventually the two lads just wrestled it out, something they really just should have started with all along instead of involving others or their food supply. Yeah, both nations were completely drained of resources, food, treasury, you name it. Come 1521, they were at war all over again. Just 1 year later, but an absolute waste of time. But hey, they got to see two grown men wrestle, so that's fun, I guess, in these times.
Number 9, Festival of Drunkenness. Once upon a time in ancient Egypt, the big guy, Ra, god of the sun, heaven, kingship, power, and light, got upset with humanity and sent Hathor to teach us a lesson. She turned into a lion and began going around hunting humans, chasing us into the desert where she would drink our blood. Lovely. This made Ra feel a little bad, so he ordered his followers to bring him hematite and beer that he mixed together to make a blood-like liquid. Over 7,000 jars of the stuff. And he flooded the fields with it, which Hathor drank and drank and drank until she became so drunk she passed out. Because of Ra's decision to save us from the deity he sicked on us, the ancient Egyptians celebrated the Festival of Drunkenness. Basically, the people were allowed to drink, dance, do the deed, and light torches every 20th day of Thoth at home or in temples with everyone else until they got so drunk that they passed out, just like Hathor. As far as excuses to drink and have massive parties go, this one's pretty solid, yeah.
Number 8, the Red Wedding. January 28th, 1393, you are formally invited to a masquerade ball. Finally, it's about time. The French Queen Isabeau of Bavaria is hosting one of the most lavish parties of the decade. Bring your finest krakows, my friend. When the French royal court was celebrating the marriage of one of the Queen's ladies in waiting, it was a big deal. It was a happy day. For some, it was the best day of their lives. For others, at this ball, not so great. Not such a great day. King Charles VI had 5 companions all perform a dance. A dance routine, how fun. Weddings have those are a good time. They did a performance as beasts. They were committed to the bit. They had masks, big baggy outfits, lots of linen, lots of stuffing to appear as if they were literal beasts. The party was going well, wine was spilling, beasts were roaring, it was a good time. But one rule was put into place before this party went underway. Absolutely, positively, no candles. Obviously, right? I mean, look at these dudes. The Duke of Orleans had a little too much fun prior to this event and forgot the first rule of Fight Club when he arrived. The guy walked in with a lit torch. What an idiot. Some accounts say he dropped the torch by accident, others say he got too close trying to guess the identity of these beasts. Either way, this was a tragic event that took the lives of 4 people. Hence the name Ball of the Burning Men.
Number 7, Nero's Golden House. I couldn't imagine a worse time than not being able to leave a party when you want. I am famous for pulling an Irish goodbye and leaving without saying a word to anybody when my social battery reaches 0%. But that wouldn't fly at Nero's crazy parties. His Domus Aurea, or Golden House, was where he held the craziest, heinous parties you ever did see. Massive feasts that they couldn't leave unless they ate enough to vomit, or if, and this is where it gets heinous, they did the dirty. Yes, the shika shika boom boom. According to legend, Nero would dress himself in animal skin and have men and women alike tied to posts where he would, well, you get the picture. People who went to these massive, crazy parties were not allowed to leave until he said the party was over. See, Nero wasn't really known for being the most sane of Roman emperors, okay?
Number 6. Bacchanalia. If you've ever dreamt of joining an ancient Roman wine cult, well, the 2nd century BC would have been a perfect time for you to be born. Sorry, you're just a tad late. I mean, now you get YouTube, but you're missing all this sticky goodness. We'll get them next time, Adam. Romans would gather in these cultic celebrations, all in the name of Bacchus, the wine god. These gatherings would be held in private, hopefully, or quiet areas of the woods. Again, hopefully. They would dance, they would cook food, they would eat, they would drink a lot, and then things would get rather intimate. They would dance a little closer with one another. Yeah, that was the whole point of this cult. You'd gather in small homes to dance the night away, if I can say that. Some accounts say people would often get poisoned in these ancient wine parties. It was pretty dangerous. It was like a dark theme, I guess. Ancient Romans just did that, I guess. So by the time 186 BC rolled around, the Roman Senate voted to end these cult gatherings. Rightfully so. Yeah, the smell alone, great call. Nobody did it like the Romans. Yuck.
Number 5, Feast of Fools. We have talked about this so many times, I have debated not including it on this list. But here we are. The Feast of Fools, where the lowest become the highest, at least in terms of religious officials. Every January 1st, starting in France and expanding to most of Europe, expect to see parades, comic performances, costumes, cross-dressing, song, and lots and lots and lots and lots of drinking. There is a bit of debate on that point though. Apparently, at least in the church, it was a highly scripted and very formal event. But that's boring. We want to see Quasimodo hoisted up as the king of fools while people yell topsy-turvy. The more fun, non-religious application is as a relief from the depression-inducing rigors of daily life living in a society like that of medieval Europe. That sounds way better, right?
Number 4. Pleasures of the Enchanted Isle. Sounds like a Harry Potter sequel that didn't make it. Harry Potter and the Pleasures of the Enchanted Isle. Don't bring your kids. What a name for a party. Okay, back in 1664, King Louis XIV decided to throw a big celebration for his mistress. Yeah, he told all invited that the party was for his mother, but really the spotlight was on his lady the entire time. What a dude. Already you're like, what a diva, classic. A week-long party? I'd be out of there in 3 hours. I'd be yawning day 1. Louis tried his best to keep the party going though, I'll give him that. He had outfits, a massive fake palace, he had a big float that looked like a whale, so those are fun. And he even had a ballet show. Yeah, nothing livens up a week-long bender than a live ballet show in a room full of lanterns. Nice, now I'm definitely asleep. While setting off fireworks on day 7, the fake palace caught real fire. And at that point, everybody was like, yeah, we're gonna go home now. We must sleep. This is too much. I have a headache. I'm gonna throw up.
Number 3, Banquet of Chestnuts. Ah, the Borgia. We love an incredibly corrupt and hypocritical papal family. The innocently named Banquet of Chestnuts was a lovely way of showing us all just how hypocritical they were. On October 30th, 1501, an incredibly lavish party was thrown at the papal palace belonging to Cardinal Caesar Borgia, son of Pope Alexander IV, who both attended said party and had quite the time participating in it. Every member of the clergy was encouraged to take part and overindulge in all the finest foods, wines, and ladies of the evening that this uber wealthy family supplied. There was even rumored to be a massive, group activity that most, if not all, of the attendees took part in. What's with the chestnuts though? The infamous party was named after the dancing ladies of the night picking up the chestnuts that were tossed at them by those sly and drooling clergymen. You dogs, you. It is debated whether or not this party was as lavish as we think. 1, because the church tries its best to cover it up, and 2, because the person who took record of it was Master of Ceremonies Liber Notarum Johann Burchard, who did not like the Borgia, but it was probably accurate.
Number 2, a lot of cheese. I love Super Bowl parties, but couldn't tell you one thing about football. I just go because my uncle makes this one dip. It's like a cheese dip. It's thick, it's liquidy. No idea how he makes it, no idea how he accomplishes such a task, but it's delicious. It's worth the commute every year. Sometimes cheese is just the life of the party, and you have to accept that. Sometimes you're not a great host, and cheese does all the heavy lifting. That's how life is. It's not about you. It's about your cheese. Cheese is better than all of us, okay? Hit that thumbs up for cheese today. Not us, not Big Chad, not me, just for cheese. Just cheddar cheese. 1837, President Andrew Jackson knew this. He was ahead of the game. He knew cheese was the main event. So during his last White House party, his big hurrah as president, he ordered a 1,500-pound brick of cheese to just be devoured. And then he invited 10,000 of his closest friends, hopefully who weren't, lactose intolerant, and went to town. If you're wondering how they got this cheese meteor to the White House from New York, well, they used 24 horses and had to sit for 2 years before they opened the thing up. So for 2 years, guards were just standing there like, oh, I'm so hungry. I want to bite so bad. Should I do it? I'm gonna do it. The ball of cheese only took 2 hours to finally disappear, and then it returned moments later just in the form of gas and farts and horrible, horrible air.
Number 1, Viking Christmas. Yule, or Yule. It's the precursor to some of our modern Christmas traditions, just with a lot more drinking and ritual life-ending endeavors. We have no specific date for this one. It occurred, well, we kinda do. It occurred every winter solstice and would last until the 12th day of January. Yes, that's 12 days of Viking partying, non-stop too. They had Yule trees just like our Christmas trees. There was a Yule wreath that was a giant wheel that they would set on fire and roll down a hill. Nice. They even had a Santa-like character, the Old Man Winter, who was invited to come drink with them, on foot or sometimes riding a horse. Very similar to Odin, actually. We know how the Vikings liked to party too. In their giant mead halls there would be massive feasts, dozens of roast poultry, horse and beef, with enough beer, ale, mead and fruit wines to sink a longboat. They had board games, dice games and early forms of chess. They had ancient rap battles called flighting, which was basically who could insult the other one with the best rhyme. And obviously, they had drinking competitions. They sang, played instruments, had inebriated combat, recited poetry, and got very drunk for weeks on end. What more could you ask for?